Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Thursday, October the 3rd, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 92. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross stitch and have all the crazy plans that sometimes are successful and sometimes are not, but that's okay. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back. Thanks so much for following along, even if it is to just stare in complete awe at what I think I can do. So this past week, I did not get as much stitching done as I wanted to. As you guys know, Hurricane Helene hit last week, and I got didn't really get much damage to my house. I lost a few shingles, but someone's coming out this weekend to take a look at it. But I had a lot of yard cleanup to do, and you know, branches down, and I had to mow the lawn and everything. Anyway, so Sunday I spent most of the day working on my yard, and I've been working late. I'm just trying to think of what happened this week. I've been working late just about every day. Like, I have not been leaving work until between 5 and 6 o'clock. And with the traffic in this area, I don't get home until like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. And then on Tuesday, I filmed my September wrap-up video, which didn't take as long as I thought it was going to, thank God, because I had 44 projects to show. And to all those who got very confused when I posted a video on Tuesday, sorry about that. didn't mean to throw you off there. But yeah, didn't get as much stitching as I really wanted to do. I did get a good amount though, but just I didn't get to work on all the projects, so that made me sad. Oh, side note, it's my birthday month. I mean, it's not till the end of the month, but it's my birthday month, so yay. And not yay because I'm turning another year older. I really don't care. I'm over 40. I don't even remember how old I'm turning this year. I have to like math. But the weekend of my birthday, my mom and I are going to take a trip up to Ocala and go to my favorite LNS, Brick City Stitchers. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That's why I said yay. Other than that, I really don't care. Hey, Gracie. You want to see? Oh, she's going in her corner. Okay, so here's my board. As you can see, I did not get to work on everything. So sad. But the stuff I did work on, I got pretty decent progress, but considering I didn't even get started stitching every night until probably 6:30 to 7 o'clock or later, not too bad. There was a few nights where literally the only 2 projects I worked on was the Haid Cell and the Whip of Shame. There was a couple nights where I only worked on those 2 projects. I did, yeah. But I did get all my Monopoly stitching done. That was actually more important to me than getting anything else done. I did get my Monopoly stitching done, so that's good. That way we can play another round of Monopoly, which is super exciting. Okay, so let's get started with the whips. Okay, so first up is, I keep looking around for my cats. Gracie's over there laying up against the wall. I don't know where Mr. Whiskers is, though. He might make an appearance. So first up is my Whip of Shame for the month of October, and it's a really old dimensions kit. It's called Walking to Town, designed by Fred Swan. I got this back in 1999, so it's like super duper old. For my Whip of Shame, I have a goal. I pick a different whip. I have like 15 to pick from, or I pick 2 whips, y'all vote. And my goal is to do 100 stitches a day for the month that it gets voted on. So since there's 31 days in the month of October, my goal is 3,100 stitches on it. In the month of October. I did get a little bit of an early start on it because of getting the goal done for September's Whip of Shame, and my last video was like, what, I don't know, end of last week, so it's still technically September. So I did go ahead and get started on it. I want to say I did go ahead and stitch on it on Friday, but this is where I'm at with it. And I worked all down in here, so you can see that fence coming in right there. And I got, where's my board? I did 551 stitches on it since Friday. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to keep focusing down here. Let me just, oh my God, now it's crooked. Oh, okay. I might keep focusing on working down this way. I don't know if I'm going to work down this way or maybe try to work down to the bottom corner. I'm not really sure. But I'm getting this fence worked in. If I end up doing all the stitches around this area, I might go ahead and just backstitch the fence, because I just have like a little bit here and like a little bit over here to get the stitches put in around the fence. And I may go ahead and backstitch it this month just so that's done. I don't know. I always change my mind from what I say. But I think my overall goal is to maybe try to keep working and either work over to the edge or maybe try to work down into the corner so that at least I have like that part done. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, I know. This is not stitched right here. Am I going to do that this month? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I could have come up here and backstitched and started putting in the French knots. Am I going to do that? No. I'm going to try to stay down here. But we'll see what I end up doing. It'll be a surprise. I will go ahead and finish off this thread right here, because this is the thread I was stitching with last night. But this right here is a good portion of the bottom down here, so that's why I was like, maybe I might try to do that. But yeah, 551 stitches since Friday. And I got started on the tree that's right there as well. Yeah. So, okay, let me put this over here. Okay. Next up is I'll put a pic. No, because I need that. Dang it. Hang on. I need to get my tablet. I had everything. I even remembered all my boards. And I forgot the tablet. Dang it. I thought I was prepared. My tablet died. Son of a motherless goat. Wait, did it die? Okay, you know what we're going to have to do? Let me see if it died. It's taken a long time to load up. I wonder, I thought I had this thing plugged in. Oh, it's at 1%. Poop. Hang on one second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we will bypass anything I need my tablet for. And really it's not so much for the cover photos. It's more of I want to be able to tell you what my current percentage is. So we're going to bypass that one. Okay, so next up instead was my Work On Till It's Finished piece. And this is from It's So Emma, and it's called Hello Summer. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. If you watched my update video, you've already seen a few of the pieces I'm going to show, because I showed it in my update because I worked on it over the weekend before, excuse me, October the 1st. So basically my goal with this one is to just keep plugging away at it until it is a finish, because I said I wanted to work on it until it was finished. So here is where I'm at with it now. I did 458 stitches on it. And I got this as a kit, so I got all the DMC with it, and it's being stitched on, I think, a 14 count navy Aida. And so I finished, so if you didn't watch the update video, I finished off the popsicle part of the U here. I still need to put in all of the popsicle sticks down here, but I finished off the popsicle part of the U, and the remaining thread I had left over from this, I went ahead and came over here and started working a bit more on that one. And I got started on the little rocket pop that's over here, the red, white, and blue one. Got started on that, and I went ahead and did the white stitching that's in this popsicle, this one, and this one here, and almost have all of the white done in this one, and then I got started on the H up there. So, S-U-M-M-E-R. So all of the popsicles or ice cream cone have been started now. So, yeah, I was looking to see if there was anything else. So I just need to finish them off, put the popsicle sticks in. There's like a drip up. There's a drip coming from this one here that I have to put in, and then finish the word hello. And then that one will be done. Okay, so there's that. Next up is another piece I need from my tablet for. Okay, so the only two pieces left I have for my weekly pulls are Cosmic Bowling and the Hade Cell. But I need to let this tablet charge up a little bit before I can show it to you. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the temperature stitching for now. So my temperature stitching, just a real quick recap for those who don't know. I have random projects assigned to the numbers 0 through 9. I look ahead for the forecast for the week. I don't care. I was originally doing day by day, but I don't care. I'm looking ahead because that way if I can get extra stitches in on the weekends, I'll go ahead and get it done. And so I have them assigned to 0 through 9. So whatever the forecasted high temperature is of the day, I take the second number. So if it's projected to be 89 degrees, whichever one is assigned to the number 9, I do 100 stitches on. And I work on them a total of, so they get 100 stitches each time they get worked on. I have a total of 10 times that I work on them, and then they will be replaced with another project because I have a lot to pick from. And if you watch my update video, it's like, I was kind of pointing out, it's like, well, it's only 100 stitches. However, in the month of September, there were 2 projects that doing the temperature stitching, I got 900 stitches on each. So it does add up. And this is actually one of the projects. So this one here is Merry Christmas. It's a kit from Artiste. And for this one, it came up, so this is assigned to, I think, the number 1. Yeah, it's assigned to the number 1. And 1 came up in the projected forecast this week twice. But this piece only needed 1 more time to work on it before it hit 10 times being worked on. So I have a replacement piece for 1. And for this one, I'm going to show you, let me see, how do I want to do this? I think the first photo I'm going to show you is before, like last week, right? So that's going to be the one that I show you when I show you this first. And then I'm also going to put up a picture of before I started the entire thing, so you can see how far I got. So I did 100 stitches on this, and I continued with the back stitching on the S. Look how cute that's looking. I'm so close to finishing the S too. But I've almost got the back stitching completed on the S. Look how cute those little jingle bells are. They're adorbs. But let me kind of pull this back a little bit, and I think I'm going to try to insert a pre-temperature picture right here. Hopefully I do that. But this now has a total of 1,000 stitches on it since basically the beginning, of September, because that is when I started doing this, was last month. So now this has 1,000 extra stitches on it. And I've done the R, the I, and almost like completely, and almost completely did the S. So that's exciting. And some would say, well, why don't you just go ahead and finish it? No, I'm trying to stick to my plan. And my plan was to do 1,000 stitches and then move on to the next one. So this one will be set aside until I figure out what else I want to do with it, when I want to plug it in somewhere with my plans. But yeah, so there's that. The whips I chose for the temperature stitching, I decided when I pull them out to work on them, the ones I picked are not in my current whips that I'm pulling out of my basket every week, so that they would be like extra stitches. So that one's going to be going away because it hit the 1,000 stitch goal. And I'm looking at myself. If the lighting, it's getting dark outside earlier now. So I'm hoping that the lighting isn't too atrocious. If it is, sorry. I don't know what else to say. But so that temperature came up 2 times. So I had a replacement picked out, and I did go ahead and get that one done. And its replacement is Cup of Cheer by Shannon Christine Designs. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So this one will now get worked on for 100 stitches each time the number 1 comes up in the temperature. And I am stitching this on like a 14 count gray Aida. I have no idea exactly what color it is. I think I just went on 1, 2, 3 stitch and typed in gray Aida in the search bar, and I just found one that I liked. So this one got 100 stitches, and this is where I'm at with it. I did the 100 stitches in the fake Starbucks cup over here. I don't know if I'm gonna, when it comes up again, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing the 100 or the Starbucks cup. It's not really Starbucks. It looks like it could be a Starbucks cup. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna keep working on this cup, or because after I started stitching on this, I was like, maybe I should have worked on the word cup. So maybe I'll jump over there and do that next time it pops up. I'll work on the word cup. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But so that's where that is. And unfortunately, those are the only 2 temperature projects that I worked on this week. What I think I'm going to do is, somebody has suggested, because last month there was like a week or 2 where I was starting to get behind on the stitches. And somebody had said, well, why don't you just like kind of let bygones be bygones, forget the previous week, and just start fresh the following week. That way you don't get so far behind where it's like, then all of a sudden you've got like 1,000 stitches on each piece that you have to do. I think what I might do is, like, see on my board here, so I have like 4 pieces that should have gotten 100 stitches. I think what I might do is, when I start fresh with my new board, I might have, even if these pop up again in the coming week, I might have this section down here and have the current week up here. If I maybe try to work on this part first, but if I don't get to it, then I'll be like, forget it, because this is just for funsies. This is not like anything, you know, whatever. So I may just try to carry it over 1 week, but if it doesn't get worked on, no big deal. I'll just kind of forget the fact that I was supposed to do that, and we'll just kind of keep moving forward. Because there's no deadline for this stuff. It's just, this is just extra stitches I wanted to do. Okay, let me see where we're at with this. Okay. God. All right, let's see if I can get through these. You know what? Hang on, let me put this in a little bit, for a little bit longer. Sorry. So we'll go ahead and move on to the projects that I do not need the tablet for Monopoly. So for my Monopoly stitching, the cat landed on B&O Railroad, and if you've not watched my channel before, I'm playing Monopoly by myself with 4 players. They're all me. But I have whips assigned to every property in Monopoly, and then I have I made up some chance and community chest cards. And this is going to be temporary until I get my own board drawn out. I want to make a bigger board that has multiple levels because I have a lot of projects, and that way I can assign more projects to the properties, and I may or may not increase the tokens that I'm playing with and decrease what I'm doing with other stuff. I'm not sure yet, but for now I have 4 tokens. When I get done showing my whips and I pull my projects out of my basket for next week, then I'm gonna we'll break to play a round of Monopoly. If you guys want to play along at home, some people have their own list. I know there's a few people that have said, I have projects assigned to every property as well. So when you're playing, I'm picking a token and I'm doing stitches on that property's piece. There's some people who say I have 1 whip dedicated to Monopoly and they're picking a token as well. So if you want to play along at home and you have a project that you're like, well, I want to get stitches in, but I don't want to like dedicate a lot of time to it, you can pick one of my tokens, and you can join at any time. You didn't have to join from the start, but you can pick a token. Say I have a cat, a dog, a thimble, and a car. And you like, oh, well, I want to be the car. So whatever my car lands on, I'm going to tell you how many stitches go towards that car. And if you have a whip assigned to the car, then you put in that many stitches. And you can tag me on Instagram. I'm Jen the Caffeinated Crafter _ between all the words. I don't really post a lot on Instagram, but I do go on there to see what everybody else is doing. Yeah, you can play along. You can tag me on Instagram. People have been using hashtag Jen's Monopoly Sal, and get some extra stitches in. So for the cat landed on B&O Railroad, and it's my first round around the board. I'm doing 100 stitches on the properties, no matter where they are on the board, because it's the first round. That was one of the rules that we played when I was a kid. You're just going around the board. That way we'll kind of space the players out so that we're not all jumbled up trying to get to the same properties. So it's just 100 stitches on the property, the first round. And so this one, all my railroads have the Kohler Classic charts, the Kohler Designs, oh my God, what am I trying to say? The Seasonal Series by Sandy Orton. So all 4 railroads have one season assigned to them, and B&O Railroad has Autumn Sampler assigned to it. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And I'm doing this 2/2 as it calls for, be it half, full cross, half cross, whatever. But 2 strands over 2 fabric threads on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And hang on one second, I'm trying to maybe flatten, because I just fold my projects and throw them in a project bag. So I'm trying to maybe flatten out this fold a little bit. But this is where I got my 100 stitches, right over here. So I decided to, oh, also, I backstitched right over here this just needed to be finished off. I hadn't done it because I was working on this part here. So when I came back to it, I went ahead and did the back stitching that was just right here. And then since I still had that string on that thread on my needle, and this was the same color, I was like, well, let me go ahead. Is it the same color? I think it's the same, yeah, same color. I was like, well, let me go ahead and just move over here. And so I started working on these leaves, and I kind of started working down because I was trying to like feed it under. That way I didn't have to start and stop with these backstitch leaves, because that was going to be too hard. But I did those leaves there, and then I just had a few stitches left to do, and I didn't want to throw myself off trying to figure out where I was regarding backstitching leaves. So I was like, well, since I just have a few stitches left, let me go ahead and get started on, what is this called? It's not a hay bale. A stack of straw? What? A stack of straw? I don't know. But anyway, those brown stitches are part of this right here. So as you can see, I still have, oh no, I have all the leaves done in this part because this is something else right here. But I still have a few more leaves to do over here. But yeah, all the stitching is done in that harvest block. And the back stitching is done too. I think that was my goal last year, was to get it completely done, which it did. So I really love all these pieces, like the cooler samplers, and all 4 of them are on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. I think I saw Blitz Stitch doing his winter sampler on the tea-dyed Monaco, and it looked really, really good, and I wanted to have all of them on the same fabric. So that's what I did. Okay. Next up, the dog is in jail, and he last week was roll number 2 to try to roll doubles to get out of jail. When they're in jail, I have a piece assigned to in jail and a piece assigned to just visiting jail. The just visiting piece is one that I like to work on. The one when you're in jail is honestly probably my least favorite project to work on. I like the project, I just don't like to work on it. And it's one of my whips of shame, and this is a whole lot of latte. So when they land in jail and when they roll for doubles and they don't get out of jail, each time it's 200 stitches. And last week was roll number 2. So this time will be roll number 3, and we'll see what happens. If he rolls doubles, he'll get out of jail and move forward. If he does not roll doubles, then I'll have to do 200 more stitches on this, and then he'll just get out of jail, and then he'll start fresh with rolling next week. But what somebody had asked me, like, what happens if you have multiple pieces in jail? If that happens, I do have the option for at least one of them to pay a 300 stitch penalty to get out of jail immediately. That's my get out of jail, is they have to pay 300 stitches to just get out of jail and not worry about it. So if I keep getting a lot of pieces in jail, then I will probably start doing that. But roll number 2 in jail, didn't get doubles. And so this piece got 200 more stitches. I have a hair. I think I got it. 200 more stitches, still in this blue cup right here. It's never ending cup. It's never going to be done. I'm just gonna work on it until the end of time, I feel like. But I mean, overall, and I'm just using what came in the kit. 14 count black Aida. The threads are like super bright on it when I saw it in the store way back in the day. I think you might be able to find this on eBay. But I like the colors, and I like how it's turning out. There's this cup, I just need to do the steam. This one's almost done. This one's almost done. I'd say this one's about 3/4 done. There's one more cup right over here that's like purple and orange right here. And I gotta do the border. And I'm debating on if I'm gonna backstitch it or not, because The back stitching really only goes around the edges and around the cup, like where the cup meets the saucer. But I don't know if I'm gonna actually, I don't know. We'll have to see about the back stitching because I don't really see how black, because it's in black. Black on black back stitching seems kind of stupid to me. But I might start it and see how it looks. But anyway, so it's 200 stitches for the dog being in jail. Okay. Trying to let my tablet charge up as much as possible. Okay. So then the next player was the Thimble, and they landed on States Avenue. I need my tablet for that. So we're going to skip the Thimble and we're going to move over to the car. So the first roll, the car rolled doubles and landed on Illinois. And first round, so it was only 100 stitches that had to be done. Illinois Avenue is assigned to the Dimensions Gold Collection, Cherry Blossom Creek, designed by Sung Kim. And I'm just using what came in the kit. It is a (16-count) light blue Aida. And when I started this, earlier this year, I think, I measured out the fabric. I figured out, because it tells you how big the design is somewhere. I don't know. It tells you how big the design is somewhere. I don't remember where. And, oh, 15 by 10. And measured out the fabric, mathed it out, and started up in the corner. But this is where I'm at with it now. So I did 100 stitches on it. And what I'm trying to do is kind of like, you know, work it so it's like kind of staying fairly solid. I don't want to do this in a diagonal because you do use a lot of thread when you stitch in diagonals because of all the parking. And then if you have like this color up here and this color also down here, you'd be traveling a lot. But if I'm stitching it the way I am right now, I'll have this color here. And then if I come over here, it's a separate thread or what have you. So I'm not like traveling a lot with it if I can help it. But I'm trying to stay fairly consistent. So when I work on this again, I'm going to finish the thread here, or at least finish this color wherever it ends up. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and do the symbol that's right here, and then come over here and do the symbols that are over here and kind of work them down. Try to stay like that so I don't end up missing stitches or anything. So I am working off a paper pattern. So that was the first double roll. And so then the card rolled again, did not get doubles, but it landed on community chest. And that card was, I think it said like buy cookies at the bake sale, new start. And so I pulled my new start basket out and I just like reached into it and just pulled the project out. And that was my new start. And so what I'm going to do with this new start is I wrote the name of the project on that card. Because I'm going to end up updating these cards once I get my big board game like made up anyway. So I wrote that new start on that card. So when that card comes up again, it will, because I had to do 200 stitches on it. And when that card comes up again, I will do another 200 stitches on it. And then that way this will get more progress than just 200. Until I figure out how I want to incorporate new starts into the game. If I make the game board big enough, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But anyway, this is a kit from Artiste. Someone told me how to pronounce it. Un poule. It's French for a hen. So I'm calling it a chicken, my chicken piece. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'd said before, when I showed it last week, I was going to start in the middle. And then Alara messaged me and she was like, dude, why don't you just do what you did with like Cherry Blossom Creek, like measure the fabric out, see how big the design is, and just start up in the corner. I was like, you know what? I could do that. So I did do that. And I started up in the left-hand corner. She was like, you're going to hate stitching all that white. I was like, you know what? You're totally right. So you know what ended up happening? I stitched a bunch of black. So this is the upper left-hand corner start, and up in that little checkerboard corner, right up here. And I got my 200 stitches on it. So I will probably go ahead and keep working on that 200, or on that checkerboard until it's done. And then I don't know, just future thinking. What I might end up doing is maybe doing a thread in here, definitely doing a thread here, because this border up here, this is all black stitching, and then this stuff is all back stitch or French knots. So this is solid black stitching up here. So I might do a thread or two up here, do a thread here, do a thread here, trying to like kind of work it out so I'm not stuck doing a bunch of the same color at once. So that was the car. Okay. I still have 3 projects to show. I'm now at 19%, so I think I'm safe. Okay. So let's back up to the thimble. So the thimble landed on States Avenue. Now the thimble last week, if you have not been following along, the thimble is actually on its second go around the board, because the previous week it had rolled doubles like twice, and it had gotten like advanced to boardwalk, and so it passed go, and so it passed go already. So now it can purchase properties. So it purchased, the thimble purchased States Avenue, and the project assigned to States Avenue is from Stitchman Darcy, and it's called I Love You to Death. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And on the second side of the board, I will be changing up my required stitch counts for buying properties and whatnot once I get my other thing out, because I just kind of came up with numbers pretty quickly so that I could get started on this faster. But for the second side of the board, to purchase a property is 100 stitches. Doesn't matter what color it is, because I know in the actual game, like each color of properties increases in value. But I didn't do that. I just did side 1, 2, 3, and 4. So to purchase States Avenue, it was 100 stitches. Nope, I lied. To purchase side 2 is 200 stitches. My bad. Side 1 is 100, side 2 is 200, side 3 is 300, side 4 is 400. So that's going to be super fun if they're all on side 4 at the same time buying stuff. Okay. So I'm doing this on a 28 count. I think this is a linen in some kind of mottled gray fabric. I have no clue what color it is. I think I had actually bought this for another project and I didn't like it, but I thought this would look good for this piece because it's like kind of spooky-ish. So I'm trying to get this to where you can see it pretty good. And this is where I'm at with it now. So my 200 stitches, I didn't finish the skull right here, but I did get it where it didn't look as weird. But now next time I work on it, I'll try to finish off that hole in the head. And then I did some stitches in here. I came over here and I started working on the tree over here, and I got sick of working on that color. So then I came over here and I started working on the cloud that goes through this eye right here. So I got 200 stitches on it. I am now at 3,028 stitches done out of 9,401. There's the rest of it. And I'm currently at 32.21%. So there we go. So in his mock-up, Darcy put his name and his wife's name. And I am currently single. So I think what I might do when I get done with this is I might put my cats on there. Mr. Whiskers and Gracie Lou. I think I might put my cats on there. Just for fun. Okay. So now we're going to jump back over to my weekly stitching. The full coverage piece that I had pulled to work on this week was Cosmic Bowling, and this is from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Amy Stewart, and I think the more that I work on this, like I already love the design, but I think the more I work on this, the more I'm gonna love it. But this is regular size, regular color. It's 750 by 535, and it has 89 colors, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I think I say this every time I show it, but this is like very representative of like a bowling birthday party. I mean, they have like adult events at the bowling alley that look like this, but this really reminds me of my nephew's birthday parties. Like the lights, and it's funny because, not last year, but the year before, when I was at his bowling birthday party, I was like just looking around and I was like, oh my God. It was before I bought this pattern too. I was like, but I knew that this pattern existed. So I went to the site, I pulled up a mock-up of the piece, and I showed my sister. I was like, does this not remind you of this cross stitch pattern right here? She was like, oh my God, it does. But she's not into cross stitch. So she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Moving on. But anyway, I did 404 stitches on this. In the upper, I did an upper left-hand corner start, and I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a, I think this is a 32 count easy count Lugana. And I'm converting this into the diagonal because I'm converting all of my full coverages into diagonals. So it's hard to tell right now, but the diagonal is going to end like right along here. And I think what I'm going to do, I said this in my update video, but I think what I'm going to do is when this diagonal gets completed, since this is easy count, it's easy to be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, count the squares down to the bottom. And I think I might go down to the bottom of the piece and do a couple diagonals there, like 2, maybe, I don't know if I'll do 2 or 3, but I think what I might do is when this third diagonal up here gets done, I'm going to count down and I'll do 2 diagonals, because this fabric is big, I'm not going to unfold it. I'm going to do 2 diagonals down here, and then I'm going to count over and do 2 diagonals either in the top or the bottom, and then do the final corner, 2 diagonals, and then I will rotate through those 3 to get them caught up to the third diagonal on this piece, or in this corner here, and then I will do a diagonal, like whenever I get it, I'll just kind of diagonal here, 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 and so that way it just kind of all starts coming in. And I think that's going to look really fun. I just have yet, there's a few pieces I'm going to do that on, and I have yet to get to that point where I'm going to do that. Okay, so the last piece I'm going to show you is my Heaven and Earth Sal. And, my God. So this is a closed stitch along. We had 10 pieces to pick from. If we get 4 pages of the project done by the end of the year, we get all 10 charts that were offered. If we finish the piece by the end of the year, then we get all 10 charts, plus we get 2 free charts off of the website. I already have my charts selected because I'm determined to finish this thing. I'm going to let my kids pick out a chart for each of them. And but the piece I picked to work on is a snippet of Merry Mushroom Village Picnic. So this one is called Merry Mushroom Village Picnic 2, because there's like 3 to pick from the Merry Mushroom Village Picnic. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. It's 300 by 205, and it has 90 colors. Yeah, 90 colors. I am doing this 2/2 half cross on a 28 count easy count Lugana. So I did convert this into a diagonal as well, but I'm doing my diagonals from the right because in my head it provides like counter tension because my stitches go to the left. So I feel like that way it won't show diagonal lines so much. But the 4th quarter got released Friday. And so what I decided to do, because the 4th quarter for my piece was this strip down at the bottom going over to the right hand side, I've already got diagonals going from the right hand side. So what I did, well, you have a before picture up. Here's where I'm at now. So I went ahead, went back over to the bottom corner, and I worked in all the stitches because it was like 15 rows right here. I worked in all the stitches until it met up with the diagonal I was working on, and I've been getting this diagonal filled in, and I think I'm right about here. I just have about this much left up here. So about that much left of this diagonal to do, and then I will move on to the next one. But my diagonals are getting smaller. But I got a total of 2,036 stitches done on this. And now I can actually give a true percentage of where I'm at with this piece. I am now at 48,248 stitches done out of 61,500, and I am at 78.45% complete. I cannot wait to get this thing done. I am so tired of it. I don't do sales very well. I really don't. And this is why, because I get sick of it. But I am determined to, I'm stitching it out of spite now. Like this thing is I'm treating it like it's a living object, and I'm like, you're not going to win. It's like we're in this battle, and I'm like, you are not going to win this battle. I will defeat you. I will finish you. I mean, I don't have that much left. I really don't. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm just like, ugh. But real quick, I wanted to zoom out. Here, let me get the highlight of that off. I wanted to zoom out to show you just like, that's all I got left. So when this but you see what I mean? Like when this diagonal gets done, like they're gonna slowly get smaller and smaller because of all this other stitching I have. So that's exciting. But yeah. So there's that. That's all the whips I have. That's all the whips I have. So let me turn this off so it doesn't die on me. So let's update my boards real quick. I don't have all three of my big boards out because I did not work on the non-full coverage for the week. So, and I did not work on my New Start rotation piece this week either. But I did do, let me save this eraser. I did work on my work on till it's finished, which was Hello Summer. So I feel like I repeat myself every single week, but I keep getting all these new people watching me. Hello, new people. So I explained stuff over and over for the new people. But my work on till it's finished, I don't have a set stitch count goal for these. I just keep adding totals to this as I work on them, just to track how many stitches I did. But where is it? Oh, it's way down here. So Hello Summer, I have not worked on yet. So I started these plans here with these goals. I started this in August. So that's why there's so many blank spaces on here, because I just started doing this in August. But Hello Summer, I did 458 stitches on. And then so this column over here, if I don't have a replacement, because I'm going to keep this at 15 that I pick from until they get done. If I don't have anything else that could go into this list, then I'll just write the date that it got done over here. If I do have something, I'll write the date over here. We'll leave it up for a couple weeks to be like, yay, look at that. And then it will get replaced with a new work on until it's finished. But yeah, so there's that one. All right, let me figure out my life here. Hang on. Okay. And then my full coverage I did work on. Let me move this down here. So my full coverage pieces, my non-full coverage pieces, real quick, since I'm not showing that board. My non-full coverage pieces, I have 20 pieces in that rotation that I pick from. I pick one per week, and I have a goal of 5,000 stitches. When it hits 5,000 stitches, it gets replaced. My full coverage pieces, I have a goal of 10,000 stitches. So it's fun seeing the numbers go down as these pieces get worked on. And ideally what will happen is as those get lower, as these numbers get lower, I will be like if it's like, say at one point I pull out like hiding place and it's got like, I don't know, 1,500 stitches on it, because I'm doing it in 10 stitch and I did 1225 last time I pulled it out. But if it's a reasonable amount, then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna really focus and try to get this goal done so we can replace it with another full coverage piece. Okay, but Cosmic Bowling, here it is, number 6, Cosmic Bowling, I did 404 stitches on. That was my first time working on it since I started this, this new plan. So this goal has dropped from 10,000 stitches down to 9,500 and get off my board, heifer. Sorry. 9,596 stitches left for that goal. Gracie, she like picks the most inopportune times. And there was one, it was back when I was living in the apartment, but it was like earlier this year. And she sat on my board when I was getting prepared to film and erased like half of the board. Oh, I was so irritated. Okay, so this other board, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna have to go back and look at my, look what she did to Honeymoon Sunset. What a fat ass. She ran across it and wiped off that number. Anybody remember what that was? Was that a 5 or a 6? I'll just watch last week's video. I'll just skip over to last week's video and I'll rewrite that. No big deal. Okay, so these are my 4 focus pieces that I currently have. So my Haid Sal, I'm trying to do, I didn't say this in the previous, when I was showing it. My Haid Sal, I'm now trying to do 300 stitches a day until it's done. I figured out that if I do 300 stitches a day on it, this thing will be done the week before Thanksgiving. If I do 200 a day, it'll be like mid-December. But the more I work on it, of course, the faster it'll get done. So I'm shooting for 300 stitches a day until it's finished. If I have time on the weekends, I'll bump it up to 400 stitches. And then that way, maybe I could get it done beginning of November. But anyway, so the Haid Sal, but I'm doing daily stitching on it because I was trying to do the weekly and it was just not working for me. I was like, I kept putting it off. I didn't work on it. I ended up working on it at nights. I couldn't work on it as much, but the daily stitching seems to be working out a lot better for me with it. So the completed stitches have gone from 46,212 to 48,248. The stitches remaining in the piece has dropped from 15,288 down to 13,252. How exciting is that? That's exciting. Okay, Honeymoon Sunset. God, that is driving me crazy. I don't remember if this is a 5 or a 6. I feel like it's a 5. Honeymoon Sunset. I feel like it was a 5, but I'll double check myself before I rewrite that. So Yippee-Ki-Yay, I didn't get to work on. Honeymoon Sunset, I did get to work on, but Walking to Town is my whip of shame. That's why this is blank, because, oh, I didn't do the math. Son of a motherless goat. It's my new whip of shame. That's why this is blank, but the goal is 3,100 stitches, and it got, anybody want to do some quick math? 551 stitches. I feel like that's going to be like $26.49 maybe. Hang on. $24.49? No, $25.49. Hang on. Where's my calculator? I usually do all the math for this before I film, and I had the other 3 pieces. I forgot about walking to town. Hang on. 3,100 minus 551, 2,549 remaining. Okay, I was close. Let me make sure I erase the right one. So now what's remaining to finish the goal for my whip of shame is 2,549 stitches. So because I did get started on this a few days early, and I always say this, and then at the very end, I'm like scrambling to finish it off. Because I try to get the whip of shame goal completed before the final Flosstube of the month. So let's see when that's going to be. So I'll film Friday, Thursday, Friday, Thursday. Oh, so I got all the time in the world because the final Flosstube of October is going to be on October the 31st. Boom. I got all month. Last month for September, I was like, my last Flosstube was like the 27th. And so I was like, I had like 4 days, like 400 stitches I was trying to cram in so that it would be done by the 27th. So I could move on to the next one. But anyway, by chance, if I get the goal completed for my whip of shame before the end of the month, it will get set aside. I'm not doing extra because that'll help me focus on something else. So yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and pull out my weekly pulls for the coming week. And since I have this one sitting on top, I'm gonna go ahead and pull my new start rotation piece. So I currently have 5 new starts in this list. That's not counting the Monopoly new start, that's separate. I have 5 new starts in my rotation right now with goals of 3,000 stitches. And when they hit 3,000 stitches, then they will get set aside to have a new start replace it. So I pulled, okay, so what I pulled was Halloween Spell. But I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna pull a different one because I need to wash that piece to get the grid lines out of it so I can finish it, because all that's left on it is metallic and beads. And I get my kids back tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be able to, I can't film when they're here because they are loud and obnoxious teenage boys. So I'm gonna set this one aside and I'm gonna pull something else, and so if I pull it on a week that I don't have my kids, then I can go ahead and finish it off, because I'll be able to do a video where I wash it like over the weekend and then let it dry and then work on finishing it. Because somebody wanted to see a video of washing grid lines out of Easy Count fabric. So that's why I'm gonna wait. So we're gonna pull a different one. And this one is, oh, Cherry Blossom. So what I'll do is when I'm done pulling my, yay, I'm excited. When I'm done pulling my projects, yeah. When I'm done drawing my projects, I'm gonna pull them out, and then I'll let you know what their goals are. Not for this one. Now we're gonna pull so I got 3 things in here. I got my Whip of Shame contenders here. Then the blue ones are the new starts, and then the yellow is my work on till it's finished. So what are we gonna work on till it's finished? I can't get them untangled. Here we go. Work on till it's finished is going to be, yeah, 1 more chapter. Exciting. Okay. So there's that. Let me put this back in here. Okay, so there's that. And then if I pull a project that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks, somebody was like, well, why don't you just leave? So I was like, well, if I pulled and I work, because I kept pulling repeating projects. So if I pull one out that I've worked on in the past 2 weeks, I'm gonna leave it, set it aside and pull a different one. But which one is this? Is this my full coverage? Yeah. My full coverage for the week will be Hiding Place. Oh, that's exciting. I've already worked on that one, so we'll get to see that number drop down. And then my non-full coverage for the week is going to be, swear to God, if it's Home Sweet Home, I'm setting it aside. All right, Nightingale, focus, Nightingale. Oh, that's super exciting. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, move over to my desk where I have my Monopoly game set up. We'll play a round of Monopoly, and then I'll pull all the projects that I'm going to work on, including the upcoming temperatures. So we'll go over all that once I kind of get everything sorted as to what my plans will be for the week. Okay, be right back. Okay, so we're gonna have to do some sliding of the board because I have pieces all over the board right now. But I have it down here first because the cat rolls first, which is up here on side 3. And what I'm going to do is realize that I left my pen over on my couch, and also realize that I don't have another pen over here. I am not prepared, but I do have a pencil, so I guess that will work. You would have thought that I would have had this set up beforehand, but apparently not. I'll just scribble with a pencil, and I'll probably have to write over it with a pen because this pencil sucks. Okay, so we are now playing round number 4 of Monopoly. All 3, the cat, the car, and the dog are still on the first time going around the board. So until they pass go, whatever they land on will be 100 stitches. So we're gonna do the cat first. He's on, stop unfocusing. He's on B&O Railroad. So we're gonna roll. And he rolled an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Community chest. What are we getting? Oh, how exciting! Your family cleans the house so you can stitch. New start for 200 stitches. Now, what I had said earlier about doing that chicken piece where I wrote it on, that's for each individual card. So this will be a different new start. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so hang on one second. How did I write this before? Side 3, community chest, new start. Okay. All right, so now what I gotta do is I gotta go over here, move out of the way, little gnome. I have a little gnome on my desk. All right, let me slide this up here. I know the light is kind of reflecting off of here, but I mean, I'm working with what I got. All right, peeps. I'm not a fancy YouTuber. I'm a average Joe YouTuber. I work with the lights I got. So I got my desk lamp shining down. Okay, so the dog is next. He is on roll number 3 of being in jail. So I'm going to roll for doubles. If he gets doubles, we'll go ahead and move him out and go at, I know in the regular game, you just move out of jail if you get doubles, but that's not how I'm gonna play this. If they roll doubles when they're in jail, they go ahead and proceed to that, but they will not go again like you normally would if you roll doubles, if that makes sense. So we're gonna roll doubles for a 3rd time. If he does not get doubles, I do 200 more stitches on the Whip of Shame that's in jail, and then he'll go ahead and just move out. Son of a bitch. Okay. All right, so I gotta do 200 more stitches on a whole lot of latte, but he is now out of jail. Okay, next up is the thimble. The thimble has passed go. So whatever the thimble now lands on, let me move the dog out of the way for a minute so he doesn't fall. Whatever the thimble over here now lands on, because it's already past go, because of all the doubles it got 2 weeks ago, now it can actually buy pieces. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So New York Avenue, and it's going to buy New York Avenue. So it got double, so it's going to roll again. Oh, whoops, Whoopsies, you guys didn't even see that. My bad. He's on New York Avenue. Whoopsies. All right. Oh, God. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he, Jesus. Sorry for shaking. I can't get the camera up enough that you can see the whole board, so you got to work with me here. But he rolled 12, so he went all the way around side 3, and he is now over here on Pacific. And if he rolls doubles a third time, he's going to jail. Oh my God. Please don't be doubles. God damn it. I know certain people are laughing their butts off at me. I'm debating. I'm going to think if I'm going to do, God. I'm debating if I'm going to pay the penalty to get out of jail, or if I moved the dog off the board so he wouldn't fall. But now the Thimble's in jail. God bless. All right, let me slide over here. I'm debating if I'm going to pay the penalty for the Thimble to just go ahead and get out of jail, or maybe I'll just keep working on a whole lot of latte. I don't know yet. I'll think about it while I'm finishing this off. All right, so now we're moving on to the car. 10. What's up with all these doubles? Now I'm getting doubles, now that it's not the dog. All right, so 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to watch this now so I can actually move with it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Baltic. Okay, so the car passed go. So I'll be doing stitches on my go piece. It landed on Baltic, but the Thimble owns Baltic. I gotta make a tracking sheet for it. But the Thimble, its first go-round Monopoly, bought Baltic like 2 weeks ago. So the car is going to pay rent to Baltic. So I'll show you that piece and how many stitches it's going to have to pay for rent. And since this got doubles, I swear to God. Oh, thank God. Okay. All right, so now the car can buy properties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Electric company. Okay. So that's it for this round. And I will be back in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pull all these projects, and I'll be back with the stitch counts and everything to let you guys know who are playing along at home, let you know how many stitches your piece needs to get for whichever token you are playing with. All right, so I will be back. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so the reason why I'm like this is the same reason I was like this last week, where, oh, this is, by the way, so people will ask me about my shirts. I did this stitch along back in 2020, and this was the shirt that they had made. So it was like the COVID virus with a needle going through it, and it says Stiacciolo in 2020. But this is my bin of new starts. They're in no particular order, but one of my Monopoly pieces is going to be doing a new start because of the community chest board or card that it got. So I'm going to just reach in. I'm just going to pull one out. I have no idea what's where. Oh, I'm excited. I see blue fabric. Yay. Actually, I saw the title. Yeah. All right. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. Oh my God. I kicked my chair. Okay, so let's go over the projects I'm going to work on ideally in the coming week. I'm Not sure how much I'm going to get done, but in my hopes and dreams, this is everything I'm gonna work on. So I'm going to go over the Monopoly stitching first, so that those who are playing along at, I feel like my lighting is better now and nothing changed. That's so weird. Anyway, so I'm gonna go over the Monopoly stitching first, so that those who are playing along at home, I will let you know which tokens get how many stitches, so that if you are dedicated to a token, then you can put that many stitches in on your piece. And if you do have projects assigned to different sides of the board or different properties or colors, I'll go over all that so that you know how many stitches at home that you need to put in. Like, you don't need as many projects as I do on this board. You can do one project for the whole thing. You can have, if you have like maybe 4 whips or 5 whips, you could assign 1 to each side of the board and then 1 for the specialty things like jail and go. You could even have, like, you know, 1 that's for the board and 1 that's for the cards, because my community chest and my chance cards all have stitch counts assigned to various properties or new starts or what have you. So you can still play along at home, even if you only have 1 piece. You could just be like, okay, this piece here, I'm definitely going to get this many stitches on. Even if you stitch monogamously, you want to be like, I want to put at least this many stitches in on this piece this week. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the Monopoly pieces. Okay, so the cat landed on community chest, and that was a new start. So I pulled out of my bin that you just saw, I pulled out from the Cricket collection, Winter. That's exciting. And I changed the fabric up. I think there is a blending filament that I do not have that I'll have to get, but I don't need to worry about it right now. But this is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to be doing it on a 28 count, not easy count, what am I talking about? I'm going to be doing it on a 28 count Lugana even weave in the color Blueberry. That's going to look so good. I'm excited. Okay. So that's going to be the cat, and that will get 200 stitches. All right. Then the dog was supposed to come out of jail, and it did not. It did not roll doubles the 3rd time, so I got 200 more stitches to do on that, on my jail piece. Oh, my mom made this bag for me. It's got Central Perk from Friends. So just a quick reminder, that's going to be a whole lot of latte. What happened to my cover photo? I can't find it. I just had it. There it is. This one here. So this is my jail piece. So the dog has to pay a 200 stitch penalty to get out of jail. The thimble, first it rolled doubles and it landed on New York Avenue, which is an orange property if you're going by the colors of the board, if you have a property assigned to a color. So it landed first on New York Avenue, which is an orange property, and the thimble is now able to purchase properties, and so it's going to purchase New York Avenue, which is my Harry Potter stitch along. I have, this is from Cunning Cross Stitch. This is no longer available, but it's a Stitch Your Own Adventure, so like you could work on this 10 different times and you'll have 10 different projects out of it. Like they'll all look different. They all have the same layout, but they'll all look different. So I'm doing this 3 times, one for myself and one for each of my kids. New York is my older son's piece. So to purchase this property, it's on side 2. Hang on, because I have my stitch counts over here. So to purchase the property on side 2, it's 200 stitches. So I will be doing 200 stitches on it. The only mock-up I have is the parchment outline, which is what I just showed you, because they're all going to be different. But this is Peyton's piece, and I'm just doing it on a 16 count ivory Aida. And this was a stitch along from 2020, I believe. Like, this thing is like super duper old. But that's my starting point with it. And so this is chapter 5. So I think, so when I pull this out to do the 200 stitches, I'm going to continue working on chapter 5, and I will go over what chapter 5 represents when I show this next week. But that's my starting point with it. My orange properties are all my Harry Potter stitch-alongs. So, yay. All right, so that's that one. Let me put, you know what, let me put these right here. Okay, and then, so that was the first set of doubles that rolled. The second set of doubles that rolled, it landed on Pacific, which is on the third side. And it's going to purchase Pacific Avenue, which is Halloween Quaker. I just had it. And this is from Lila's Studio. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I showed Holiday Quaker, I think, a couple weeks ago. And I just realized that that door was kind of closed. So let me see if there was any echoing. Let's see if that fixed it. I'm doing this 2/2 on a 32 count. I think it's a 32 count Vintage Stormy Night. And so since this is side 4, to purchase this property, and this is a green if you're doing colors, this is a green property. To purchase a property on side 4, oh my God, is going to be 400 stitches. So this is my starting point. So for the thimble to purchase this, it's going to be 400 stitches. So that's my starting point. So I will probably go ahead and just continue working on this motif right here. And then the third time it rolled doubles again. So it landed in jail. So I will probably just go ahead and, because the thimble has been going around, like causing me so much. If you're the thimble, so sorry. Because it's been landing on a lot of stuff because it keeps getting doubles. So I think I'm going to just keep it in jail, and now I'm going to have to do 400 stitches on the jail piece because it's 200 for the dog and then 200 for the thimble for landing in jail. The car. Now we're moving on to the car. So the thimble, if you're doing it by stitch counts, the thimble is 200 for that one, 400 for that one, 200 for that. So if you're just doing stitch counts per player, the thimble is going to be 800 stitches. Okay. Now we're moving on to the car. So the first, so the car rolled doubles. It was making me nervous. I'm like, what in the world? The car rolled doubles, and it passed go. So I plugged my tablet back in while I was playing so it could get a little bit more juice. Okay, so the car rolled doubles and it passed go, and my go piece is one of my stockings from Heaven and Earth Designs. This one is the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And if I pass go, I do 200 stitches on it. If I land on go, I do 400. but I'm doing it 2/1 half cross on a 25 count easy count Lugana. This is my starting point. This is my starting point with it. And I did start converting it into a diagonal, so I will do another 200 stitches up in that corner right here. I'll do another 200 stitches on it. And you know what? You never know. Maybe I'll have another epic stitching week and I'll get it all done. But I will say, well, let me finish showing everything first. Oh my God. Okay, so it passed go and it landed on Baltic, which is a Brown property. It's now, so the car can now purchase properties. It landed on Baltic, which is a Brown property. However, the Thimble already owns it. So it's going to pay rent on that property, and rent on side 1 is only 50 stitches. That'll be super duper quick. I'll get that done in like 20 minutes. And Baltic is Spa Gnome by cutebrodery.com. And I know you're probably thinking 50 stitches, that's it? Why didn't you make it 100? Because of all the other stuff I have to do. I'm glad this is only 50 stitches right now. But that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And I'm just doing this on a 14 count Charles Craft Aida that I picked up at Joann's. It's a printed Aida and it's in this pinky purple color. And that is my starting point. So I'll get 50 stitches on that to pay rent. And since it had rolled doubles, it rolled again. It did not get doubles the second time, thank goodness. And it landed on Electric Company. Electric Company is not owned yet, so it is going to purchase Electric Company, which is on side 2 of the board. And so it's going to pay 200. Yeah. Oh, basically for the rent, I just cut the stitch count to purchase. I cut it in half for the rent. That's why the rent on side 1 is only 50 stitches. But if that player owns multiple properties of that color, then the stitch count does go up. But anyway, so the car is going to buy Electric Company, which is Cupid's Cafe by Sugar Stitches Design. Sugar Stitches Design, yeah. Cupid's Cafe. And I'm doing this 2/2 on a 28 count pink even weave. It's like baby pink or something, I don't know. But that is going to be my starting point. And I will probably try to keep working up at the top in that flower border up there. This is, right now, this is my plan. I'm gonna work in the top in the flower border up here and try to finish these flowers and then do the, like, you know, there's like some backstitch stems. I'm gonna just run through this one more time and see, because not all of them have the backstitch stems. I'm gonna see, oh no, they do. They're just like really tiny, like over here, like just a few. But I'm gonna finish off this top flower border and the stems and kind of start migrating down this way. And this thing holds, this fabric holds folds very, very well. So when I put it away, I'm trying to like put it inside the leaflet opposite ways every time so it doesn't keep getting a fold in the same spot. I'll just iron it when it's done, but still. Okay, so for stitch count for the car, it's going to be 200 for pass and go, 50 for paying rent, and then how much was that? 200. What did I say before? For Cupid's Cafe to buy it, I need 200 stitches. Is that what I said? That's what it needs. So 200 for pass and go, 200 for buying Electric Company, and 50 for paying rent on Baltic. So it's going to be 450 stitches for the car. So 200 for the cat, 200 for the dog, 800 for the thimble, and 450 for the car. If you're playing along at home and you're doing stitch counts by player. Okay, so real quick, let's go over the weekly pulls that I did. So my non-full coverage this week is going to be my Mirabilia, and this is Nightingale, and that is what she is going to look like when she is done. And she is one of my Monopoly pieces as well, so that's exciting. And so if I stitch on her for Monopoly, her stitch count on my rotation board will go down. Like that, those stitches count towards that too. Okay, so I'm doing it 2/2 on, what am I doing it on? I don't know. Where's my, it's by Zweigart, because I see the orange selvage. What am I doing this on? Wait, do I have it in the bag? Oh, here it is. It's on my little index card. I'm doing it on a 2/2 on a 28 count Lugana in the color Dusk by Picture This Plus. And I just don't remember where my starting point is. Which way was I working on this? I'll figure it out when I get to it. I don't know which way is up. That's the fabric. I wanted to get one that was like where it was like nighttime. I don't know if it's like, no, I feel like that's not right. I feel like it should be like this. I think this is right. I think this is the right way. But that's my starting point with it. I just started this year. So I'm not very far on it. So she's going to get, oh, I was still thinking Monopoly. So she's going to get whatever stitches I can put in on this. And I'm doing it with the call for thread. And it calls for like, doing it with the call for thread. I got the bead pack. I feel like I'm missing something though. I have the water lilies. I think I need to get the Krynic. Yeah, I think I need to order the Krynic still, but I have the Karen water lilies. Okay. So then my work on till it's finished piece is going to be from Pantini, and it's in her Other Lies series. And it's a girl with a bunch of books, and it says just one more chapter and other lies I tell myself. That's what that's going to look like. And I'm just doing it on a 28 count printed fabric that I picked up like 5,000 years ago on sale for like $1 in Joann's or Michael's or something. They had them all marked down like to $1 a piece. So I picked up a handful of them. But that's my starting point with that. There is like a dot where the print came off the fabric there, but it's whatever. I don't care. But that's what that's going to look like. If you saw my video a few weeks ago where I showed my market purchases, so last year I did I Will Not Buy Craft Supplies and Other Lies I Tell Myself. My mom currently has that piece. She's going to figure out a finish for me. Because I finished it last year. And then I have this one, which is just one more chapter, and Other Lies I Tell Myself. I'm not really so much a big reader anymore. It's in a series, so, and it's fun to stitch on, so I got it. The video I showed a few weeks ago, I definitely want to do because it's another one from this series right here. I have all 3 of them. As far as I know, she only has 3 of this type of pattern out. And I have that one too. And it's a girl with like kind of bloodshot eyes in a way, watching TV. And it's got like that little Netflix, are you still watching thing? And it says just one more episode and Other Lies I Tell Myself. That's definitely me. be it Netflix, Hulu, Flosstube, whatever. So anyway, one more chapter. That'll get as many stitches as I can do on it. And then my full coverage for the week is going to be Hiding Place. And this is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. And I'll go over like the size of it and everything next week, but this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing it 2/1 half cross on a 28 count easy count Lugana. And this is one side of it. And then when I pulled this out before, and it's like tea dyed. It's tea dyed. I spilled tea on it like 2 years ago. But this is what one side looks like right here, right? Whoops. That, not this way, it's this way. And then what I did when I pulled it out a few weeks ago was I counted over to the other side because I'm doing it in half cross and I want to convert it to a diagonal. But I want my half cross diagonals to come from the right hand side. So I counted over to the other corner and I did that. So I will continue in this new diagonal over here on the right hand side. And I have already worked on this once. And so to get the 10,000 stitch goal on this, it now needs 8,775 stitches. So that'll be fun to see that count go down. So my concern is that I want to stitch on all this stuff. I pulled some really good ones this week and I want to stitch on all of them. So we're going to see how it goes. Then my last one for my weekly pulls is my New Start rotation piece. And this one is Cherry Blossom. It's by Blue Fox, sorry, Ariana. Blue Fox Stitchery on Etsy. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm stitching this with Alara and also blushing pink stitches joined in on this. And so that's what it's going to look like. And I'm doing it 2/1 half cross on a 28 count white linen that I had in my stash. Started from the right hand corner, top right hand corner, doing it in diagonals. That's my starting point. And my New Start rotation, those pieces have a goal of 3,000 stitches and then they will get set aside and get replaced with a New Start. And to finish off this goal, I only need 860 stitches. So this will be one of my main focuses to get this done so that next week I can pull another New Start to replace this. Somebody had suggested putting my Monopoly New Starts in this rotation, but I've got a plan for them right now about, like, you know, when their card comes up again, I'll do that, so it's fine. Okay, last thing to go over is my temperature stitching. So like I was saying before, on my board, these 4 here, I'm going to just, so you may see, you're going to see these listed 2 times because not all 4 of them, but whichever ones get their temperatures coming up this coming week, these are going to get moved down here. And then my upcoming week will be right here. So if I don't get to these 4 this week, these specific 4, whatever I don't get to, it will drop off. I'm not going to carry it over from week to week to week because that's how I ended up needing to do 700 stitches in 1 week on Sampler 124. And I was like, ugh. Okay, so this upcoming week, the temperature assigned to 0 is Twisted Band Sampler. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And the temperature ended in 0 2 times. So this, ideally, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to actually do all these stitches. So this will get 200 stitches. So I'll finish off that band right there and move on to the next band. So that's and I'm doing it 2/2 with the called for, oh, real quick. I'm going to go over this again, but I'm doing it 2/2 with the called for DMC conversion on a 28 count white Jobelin, and I'm doing the cross stitch version. They have regular cross stitch and they have specialty stitch. And I'm doing cross stitch because I wanted to make my life easier. Okay, and then the next one will be the one that ended in 2, which actually is a carryover from this week, which is sampler 124. I think what I might try to do maybe is try to focus more on getting the carryover done first. Maybe, I don't know yet. But sampler 124, it's charted as a monochrome, but I'm doing it with a color variation. I will go over that color variation next week, not today. But I'm using 4 different colors. I have one for the border, and then I have 3 colors that I'm doing a solid, a mix of 2 colors. Oh, forget it. Let me just tell you now. Okay, so this is being done 2 strands full cross on an 18 count. I think it's either 16 or 18 count white opalescent Aida. So the border is $37.99, and then I have it in Pattern Keeper, so I have it in 20 stitch wide diagonals, and I picked 3 colors. My pink is $38.05, my purple is $38.35, and my blue is $37.50. So in Pattern Keeper, I have it in 20 stitch wide diagonals. So I just started with the first one, and so each diagonal is is 2 strands, but a different color. So the first one was pink, and then it was 1 strand of, so it's 2 strands of pink, 1 strand of pink, 1 strand of purple, 2 strands of purple, 1 strand of purple, 1 strand of blue, 2 strands of blue, 1 strand of blue, 1 strand of pink, 2 strands of pink, and then it just keeps repeating across the entire piece. So this will need to get 100 stitches on it. And when this gets 100 stitches on it, oh, I forgot to, oh, I meant to pull this out. Hang on. When this gets 100 stitches on it, so I really want to get this 100 stitches done because that will meet its 1,000 stitch goal and it will get replaced. And I have my replacement piece picked out for it. Its replacement piece, I'll show you the before next week once it gets pulled. But my replacement piece is going to be from Glendon Place, and this is Poltergeist Pirates. So I'll go over this more once I know that sampler 124 has been finished off. But this is going to be the replacement piece for Poltergeist Pirates, so I'm super excited. Okay. And then the next one is the one assigned to number 3, which is Let's Talk Stitching from Hands On Design. This temperature came up 1 time, so this one will get 100 stitches. And I'm doing it on a 14 count black, 16 count black Aida. And this is my starting point with it, so I will be continuing in these scissors right here, but that's my starting point with it. And I will do 100 stitches in the scissors that are going through the word scissors. And then, I know, I didn't get all the stitching I wanted to get done last week, and now here I am. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Then, will be the one assigned to number 4, which is Gothic House by Stitching Jewels Design. No, that's not what I want. And Gothic House is 330 by 330. I got this on Etsy in Stitching Jewels shop. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 25 count Lugana in Vintage Stormy Night. And this is my starting point. That looks really good. I love this piece a lot. I actually really love like all of her stuff that I have. I have 3 patterns from Stitching Jewels and I love all of them. Well, I have 3 started actually. Let me say that. I have 3 started. I had at least 1 more that I actually have not started. I know the pattern is on my computer, but I have not started it yet. Then the next one is going to be Sea Turtle. Did I not pull that out? I sure didn't. Hang on. The next one is going to be Sea Turtle, also by Stitching Jewels. And this is a monochrome piece. Where is it? Here it is. And this size is 270 by 150. So this is another Stitching Jewels pattern. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am doing it 2 strands full cross in, Gothic House, I'm doing it in 310. Sea Turtle, I'm also doing in 310. 2 strands full cross on an 18 count Aida in the color Coastal by Picture This Plus. And this one will get 100 stitches. And this is more of the true color of the fabric. It's a very pretty, like Caribbean blue, but it's hard to see when it's up close like that. But this one will get 100 stitches, and I would like to focus on getting, like, out of all the, well, let me finish showing it, but this will be the 1,000 stitch mark as well. Let me finish showing these first, and then I'll kind of go over what I would like to try to focus on first, and then the other stuff. Okay, and then the one assigned to number 7, so that one will get 100 stitches. The one assigned to number 7 is Peacock Gnome. I'm like shooting myself in the foot here, I swear to God. Okay, Peacock Gnome, and this is by cutebroidery.com. This is what it's going to look like. This one has 100 stitches that's carrying over from last week, and then it will get another 100 stitches for the upcoming week, for this week. And this is my starting point, so ideally this will have 200 stitches on it. And I'm using the Call for DMC. Oh, let me back up for a second. For Sea Turtle, that, if I get that 100 stitches done, that will also hit its 1,000 stitch goal. And I have a replacement for that one too. Let me show you that one. It's another Glendon Place piece. Let me move this. Let me just pull it out of the bag, never mind. I put the fabric sticker on the plastic bag that's holding the pattern. No, I didn't. That's not the pattern. I got the thread pack with it. That's the thread pack bag. Hang on. You can't see that. So my replacement piece for Sea Turtle is going to be, what's it called? Halloween Wishes by Glendon Place. I started this, I think, earlier this year. And this is being stitched, oh, now I need that stupid thing. It's being stitched on a 32 count Vintage Stormy Night 2/2. And I got the thread pack when I got the pattern. I think I bought the pattern during market last year. And that's going to be my starting point. But yeah, that'll be my starting point. I'm not working on this week, but this will be the replacement for when Sea Turtle gets finished with its stitches. Okay. Back over to what I'm actually going to work on. Okay. Showed you Peacock Gnome. Okay, next up is the one assigned to number 8, which is Welcome. And this is a kit by Artiste. And it will have 100 stitches carried over from last week. And then its temperature came up 2 times. So it will have 200 more stitches on it. So a total of 300. That's what it's going to look like. And then this is my starting point with it. So I will finish off the E, and then I'm going to move over to the L. Back over here to the L. Like I'm actually going to get all this done. I'm like, oh, like I'll actually get it done. But I mean, 2 weeks ago I did. I got all of it done. I got all 23 projects worked on. I don't know if I'll have another week like that. We'll see. This past week was a fluke because I had so much yard cleanup to do. So I didn't really get a lot done. And then I was working late. Oh, and also what dug into my stitch count is, so the day I was cleaning up my yard, I had to go to the store and pick some stuff up. And then I was heading back home. I got home and I'm like, God, it's really warm in here. I go and look at the thermostat. Thermostat was off. Like it was like 80 something degrees in the house. I'm like, what the hell? If y'all know from my apartment living, my AC would freeze up every single month. Like it was like clockwork. Like I'd pay my rent and the AC would freeze up because it had to be cleaned out because the drain thing was so small that they would have to come shop vac the stupid drain pipe out every single month, right? Move in here. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with that anymore. AC stopped working. I'm like, oh my God, no way. Because the difference between the apartment and here is that when the maintenance guy shows up, I have to be home. So I can't just be like, hey, you know, put work orders in for everything and have the maintenance, because I rent. I don't own this house, I rent it. I can't just be putting work orders in all the time for like 5 million different things and they just come fix it when I'm not here. I have to be home and I can't keep taking time off work. So I'm like, oh my God. But I called them and they were going through the troubleshooting questions with me. And she said, did you replace the batteries in the past, 90 days? No, I haven't. Let me go ahead and do that. Did you replace the filter in the past 30 days? Well, no, I haven't, because the filter is 16 feet up in the air in the vaulted ceiling. And I don't have a ladder to get to the vaulted ceiling. And she said, well, you need to replace the filter before we send somebody out, because if it's a simple filter change, then you're going to get charged a service call. Like you'll have to pay for the service call instead of them paying for it. And I was like, you're trying to tell me that simply changing one filter in the house, like not even in front of the AC, because like my apartment, the filter was on the AC unit. But I was like, you're trying to tell me that changing one filter in the house will get the entire unit working again. And she's like stumbling, like she didn't know how to answer it. And she was like, yes. I got pissed off. I hung up. Went on Lowe's website, went on their app. I bought a freaking ladder. I love this ladder because it's adjustable. So like when it's like all like folded up, it only I'm 5'1" and it comes up to like maybe here. It's shorter than me, but you can extend it out to where it goes up. Like when it's folded, it's like 8 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet. I don't remember. I don't know. It's pretty tall. And it's got like this hinge up at the top. And you pull the hinge and you can actually extend the ladder out to make it an 18-foot ladder. So maybe it's like 8 or 9 feet. That might be it. It might be like 8 feet when it's, I don't know. Anyway, it's a death ladder. If I remember, I'm going to put a picture in here because I took a picture of it when it was like up. To show, I sent it to Alara to show her how high it was that I had to go. And I opened up that thing that you're going to see. Yeah, because I'm going to put a picture in. Open up that thing, change the filter out, close it back up. I went over and I was messing with the thermostat, and then I sat back down on the couch. I'm red-faced, I'm sweating, because at this point, because this was Sunday when I called, Monday I picked up the ladder, came home, ate, and then I started working on it. And at that point, it was 90 degrees in my house. Started messing around with the thermostat to like kind of shut it off, turn it back on. And I'm sitting there like messaging Alara, and I was like getting ready to call the people back and tell them to get someone the F out there the next day. Guess what kicked on? The air conditioner. Oh, I was so pissed. I was like, so then I messaged her. I was like, man, I hate when bitches are right. Oh, I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed that it was right, or that she was right. But yeah, I changed the filter and the AC started working. And the funny thing is, I haven't told my son, but my older son, his bedroom has been warm since we moved in. It's the warmest room in the house. It's always hot. And it's, you know, people are like, well, is it in the back of the house? Is it where the sun's coming in all day? Like, yes and yes. It's the furthest side of the house away from the actual AC unit. And yes, when the sun rises, it shines into his bedroom. And so it gets most of the light during the day. So most of the heat. However, this room I'm in also is the furthest away from the AC. And it also has an eastward facing window because my son's room is right here next to me. And so, and this room is not hot. And I'm like, and then my other son is behind me. His room's not hot. The only difference with his room is that his window faces that way. My window and Peyton's window faces this way, and the sun comes up this way. But I changed that filter, and then on a whim, the next day, once the house finally cooled back down, I walked into his room and his room's not hot anymore. How crazy is that? So I closed the door. So it's going to be like a surprise. I closed the door. I turned off because he has a ceiling fan going 24/7 and he has an oscillating fan in his bedroom going 24/7. And I turned both of those fans off and I closed the door. And I'm going to let it be a surprise when I pick him up tomorrow, that his room is finally no longer like a desert in there. Anyway. Okay, back to the whips. That just popped in my head, and wanted to share that. But yeah, I'll have a picture of the death ladder up there. Okay, so the final whip that I will hopefully work on is going to be Spanish Sampler, and this is out of 101 Best Loved Designs by from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. This book is on Amazon, but it is pretty expensive. Ooh, I was showing a pattern. But I got it on Facebook Marketplace for like 25 bucks. So keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you can get some good deals. But this is Spanish Sampler right here. And this will be the final temperature piece. And this is a carryover from last week. So ideally this will get 100 stitches. But yeah, that's why, you know, because when it's like that warm, it's like you don't really want to do any stitching, but it's like that took up my time on Monday. That's what, okay, so Saturday I didn't get Friday I filmed that 2-hour update. Saturday I was dividing my time between stitching and cleaning the house. Sunday I spent just about the entire day working on my yard. And then I had to go out to the store and buy some food, and then I had to stop at Lowe's again to pick some stuff up. And when I got home, that's when I realized that the AC wasn't working, so I was dealing with that for a little bit. I got some stitching done, but it was so warm. I was like, it's like I didn't even want anything touching me. Monday, I was dealing with the air conditioner, changing the filter, and that took up some time. Plus, I was getting home. I got home late from work that day. But it was still hot, so I didn't really get a lot of stitching done that day either because it was just so warm. And then Tuesday, I filmed my monthly update. So I didn't get a lot done that day either. Yesterday was Wednesday, and I got home from work late, and but Wednesday I did get a good amount done because Wednesday I did, I worked a bit on my Whip of Shame. I did my 300 on the Sal. And then I knocked out 2 temperature pieces and the final Monopoly piece. So, okay, so let's go over. So I showed you the whips that I could potentially work on. What am I going to focus on this week? My main focuses, and plus I have, so I got the weekly pulls, I have my 4 focus pieces, so the Sal, the Whip of Shame, and then the 2 I did not show this week, oh my God, the 2 I did not show this week, which is Honeymoon Sunset and Yippee-Ki-Yay, which is for my kid. So that's 8 of the weekly pieces. And then the temperature pieces is the temperature pieces and then the Monopoly game. So what am I going to focus on? I would like to get the Monopoly ones done. Like I want to focus on the Monopoly pieces first. And then regarding the temperature stitching, I want to focus on doing sampler 124 and Sea Turtle. Those are the 2 main, those out of all the temperature stitching, I'm going to do sampler 124, which is carryover from last week, and Sea Turtle, which is a new one for the upcoming week. I want to do those 2 first because that will complete their 1,000 stitch goal and they will be put away and get replaced with those 2 Glen in place pieces that I pulled out. So those will be the 2 temperature pieces I focus on first. Then regarding my weekly pulls, my main focus for the weekly pulls is going to be the New Start rotation piece, which is Cherry Blossom, because that is only 860 stitches to finish that goal off. And then that way next week, I can pull a New Start to replace it. All the other ones are going, and then regarding the rest of the weekly pulls, if I can focus on anything else regarding the weekly pulls and the focus pieces, it's of course Honeymoon, or of course the Whip of Shame and the Haid Sal are daily stitching, so those will definitely get worked on. But out of the remaining, so I guess out of the 8, this area up here where I got the 4 pulls that I did and then the 4 focus pieces, the main ones I'm going to focus on besides the daily stitching is going to be Yippee-Ki-Yay, Honeymoon Sunset, and Cherry Blossom, because that's only going to be 860 stitches to finish it off, and I'm doing it in half cross. So I can get that, I should be able to get that done in a few hours. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna hope against hope that I have another great stitching week this coming week. I'm not sure if I will, but I do kind of get an extra day because today is Thursday and I'm not filming again until next Friday when my kids go back to their dad. So I think that might have contributed to why I got so much stitching done. But if I can get everything done, that'd be great. That would be, how many whips will that be? It's going to be 8 for the weekly and the focus. And then temperature will be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, hold on, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So another 8 for the temperature. And then for Monopoly, what was I, 16? Monopoly, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, another 23 pieces because even though Thimble had 3 different projects to work on, one of them is the same one that the dog is getting worked on. So it'll be another 23 pieces. So if I actually get to work on all the 23 projects, it's going to be another 2-hour update next week. Oh boy. Okay. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. If you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. I post every week, and sometimes I post some extra ones. And go ahead and hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, and I think that's about it. So take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in. I'm hoping I will. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.